What's up, podcaster? It's Ben here from Podcast Pros with a podcast hosting comparison. And today we're comparing Transistor to Blubrry. So if you've been debating between these two hosts, this video will help you make the right decision for you and your show. And once you've made your choice, there are links for free trials to both services in the description box and pinned comment. We're going to compare these hosts based on three categories. The first being features, second being price, and third being ease of use to help you make the best decision possible. So let's get right into it. So let's start off with features. When it comes to Transistor, the biggest feature that stands out in my mind is the fact that you can have unlimited podcasts on one Transistor plan, meaning that you can have more than one show, but you don't have to pay for more than one plan. So if you're planning on experimenting with a few different shows, Transistor automatically is a great possible option. With that being said though, Transistor does charge based on monthly downloads, and that would be across all shows that are attached to the plan. And their cheapest plan will give you 15,000 monthly downloads. And any show attached to that account will count toward that monthly download number. So keep that in mind. The more shows that you have, the more likely you are that you're gonna have to move up to more expensive tiers. They offer an embeddable podcast player, which makes it very easy to embed podcast episodes onto your website. All plans come with a built-in podcast website, and each plan also comes with advanced analytics, even at its cheapest tier. Their starter plan also allows for 2 show managers, meaning that you and somebody else can both simultaneously manage the show or shows while only paying for one Transistor account. Transistor also gives you the option and capability for private podcasting on their more expensive plans. And this is fantastic for internal podcasts. A lot of businesses are moving this way to communicate with all their employees at once. And there's other various use cases for private podcasting. So Transistor gives you that option if you upgrade to the more expensive plans. And that's massive for some people. They really want that capability to have that private show. All Transistor accounts come with unlimited storage and bandwidth, meaning that you can upload as much as you want per month, and you will only get charged based on the monthly downloads that your shows are experiencing on a monthly basis. Transistor also integrates with MailChimp, ConvertKit, and Drip, which are some of the best email service providers. So this makes it a super easy way to connect with your audience, capture emails, and then nurture that relationship in a different way. So those are all of Transistor's core features, and they may not have as many features as some of the other podcast hosting options out there, but a few of the features that they do have really allows them to stand out. And that would be the unlimited podcasts on one plan, as well as the opportunity to have a private podcast. Those are 2 features that a lot of people are really looking for and allows Transistor to stand out. And that's the primary reason as to why we scored them pretty highly in the features category, giving them an 8 out of 10. Moving on to pricing. So Transistor does have a few different plans based on your unique needs. And like we said earlier, if you use the link in the description box or the pinned comment, you can get yourself a free 14-day trial to try out their service. And obviously, we're huge fans of the opportunity to try out the service before you have to commit to paying for it. But with that being said, their cheapest pricing option is substantially higher than most of the other podcast hosts out there. But what you have to keep in mind is that does give you the opportunity to have more than one show with one account. So that has to come into play when you're thinking about paying for this. And that's why it may be expensive for you if you're only going to have one show, but if you're going to have multiple, it may actually be a really good deal. Plus, the private podcasting feature is limited to their more expensive plans. So if you want that, you're going to have to pay a premium. So with all that being said, we graded Transistor's pricing a 7 out of 10. Still a solid score, but we viewed it through the lens of someone hosting one show. If you're just doing that, it is slightly on the higher or more expensive side, especially if you had one show and you wanted it to be private. But all in all, their plans are still pretty affordable for what you're getting, so they get a 7 out of 10 for price. So now moving on to ease of use. As we mentioned in the features category, there's not a ton there. They're not throwing a ton of features at you. And with that comes some benefits because the process of using Transistor is very simple and very streamlined. Getting your show up and running, even multiple shows, is very easy to do and very user-friendly. And this is one of their core focuses as a business. They want to make it as easy as possible for you to run one show or multiple. And for that reason, Transistor scored an 8 out of 10 when it comes to ease of use. So if you're keeping track, Transistor scores a 23 out of a possible 30. So it is a fantastic and easy to use podcast hosting option that may be perfect for you if a few of their unique features meet your needs. Let's get right into features. As mentioned before, Blubrry is one of the original podcast hosting providers. So they're a very trusted and reputable name within the podcast hosting space. But what really makes Blubrry a very compelling choice for podcasters still today is their integration with WordPress websites. Every one of Blubrry's podcast hosting plans comes with a WordPress website. So what that means is that you're actually building your podcast's website through WordPress. So this allows you to have way more customization and features built into your website, especially when compared to other podcast hosting website options that are out there. So if you're comfortable and familiar with building websites on WordPress, this is a huge pro for you because of all the features and customization that it allows you to have. All plans also include a custom embeddable podcast player, which makes it very easy to embed specific podcast episodes onto website pages. All plans also include phone and email support as well as unlimited bandwidth. So what you get more of as you pay for the more expensive plans is more storage, and that dictates how much content you can be posting on a monthly basis. And Blubrry's cheapest plan gives you 100 megabytes of storage per month. Luckily, audio files aren't huge, but 100 megabytes is not a lot, so a lot of people are going to have to opt for their more expensive plans. When you see the monthly storage included in your Blubrry hosting plan, that number is for new content each month, meaning that previous episodes will not count towards that storage number for the month. Another Blubrry feature we love is that all plans include professional podcast statistics. So regardless of which plan you opt for, you're going to have the same access to your stats. So those are all Blubrry's core features. But again, what really makes them so unique is the integration with WordPress, because having a WordPress website gives you access to all the WordPress plugins and different features that you can build into your website. So with all that, we gave Blubrry a 7 out of 10, a very solid score, but it wasn't higher because of how reliant it is on WordPress. It's just another thing that you have to learn. So it's great if you know it. It's a little more difficult if you don't. Moving on to price now. Their cheapest plan comes in at $12 per month, and their most popular plan comes in at $20 per month. Their most popular plan is what they call their medium plan, and this gives you 250 megabytes of monthly storage. A lot of shows will be fine staying under that 250, but if you do need more, you will have to pay for it. Blubrry also offers what they call their pro hosting solution, which gives you unlimited storage, and they say it's perfect for people looking to start podcast networks or multiple shows. Because I think that a lot of shows will be over 100 megabytes per month, meaning that you can't opt for their cheapest plan, I'm really setting this based off of their medium tier plan, and that's why I gave them a score of 7 out of 10. A very affordable pricing option, especially if you love WordPress, but a lot of people are going to have to opt for the medium or above to get that necessary storage for their show. So 7 out of 10 is a very solid score, but if you are familiar and love WordPress, the fact that you get a WordPress website for free with your podcast hosting could really improve that value if you do fall into that camp. But since I'm not a huge WordPress guy, I gave it a 7 out of 10, solid value. So now moving on to ease of use. Because of how tightly connected Blubrry is to WordPress websites, the ease of use of Blubrry really comes down to the ease of use of WordPress. So if you're comfortable and familiar with WordPress and you love it, it could be a 10 out of 10 for you. But for me, I was a newbie to website building, and WordPress had a pretty steep learning curve. Luckily, it's a very popular product and there are a ton of YouTube tutorials out there, but it is definitely not as straightforward and easy to use as some of the other podcast hosting website options and podcast hosts in general. There's a lot more that you have to learn, but with that gives you a lot more freedom, creativity, and flexibility. So WordPress and Blubrry in general are definitely not impossible to use, and there are a ton of tutorials and support out there to help you use these products, but there is a steeper learning curve than other ones out there. And for that reason, we gave them a 7 out of 10 when it comes to ease of use. So overall, we scored Blubrry a 21 out of 30, a very solid score. But if you're someone who loves WordPress and you love all the customization and features that it gives you, it may make Blubrry a 30 out of 30 and a perfect option for you. It really depends on your situation, your willingness to learn WordPress, or what you already know. So as I mentioned before, there are links for free trials for both Transistor and Blubrry in the description box and pinned comment. And using those links will get you a free trial of either service, but full disclosure, those links are affiliate links. So if you do end up signing up for a paid plan, the channel will earn a small commission for you doing so at no extra expense to you. So we appreciate the support in advance. And after watching this comparison, I want to hear from you. Are you going to host your show with Transistor or Blubrry? Let us know in the comment section down below. And don't forget to click subscribe for more podcasted related content to help you run your show like a pro. I'll see you in the next one, and happy podcasting.